Hello, my name is Beck and welcome to my spoiler-free review of Bloodsong by Anthony Ryan. In this adult fantasy novel, we follow Valen Alsorna when his life changes forever. So his father leaves him when he's 10 years old at the gates of the Sixth Order. So the Sixth Order are basically a military arm of the faith in this book, and they basically train all the boys in the order in the art of sword fighting, archery, surviving in the wilderness, and how to quietly kill a man. Bloodsong captured me. I'm a sucker for the orphan boy trope that goes off to this school to learn and grow and become this all-powerful person. There is also a whisper of instinct/magic to Valen's character that's kind of an undertone throughout the whole novel. I expected to love this book, and even though I did say I was absolutely captured by it, which is true, I did give it a 4 stars, which isn't that bad, but just by the turning of the plot in this book, I think it kind of threw me off a little bit, and my expectations kind of got the better of me. In the beginning of Bloodsong, we're following Valen and his brothers, so his friends that he makes in the Sixth Order, and the start of the book, like the first half, is basically localized to them and their relationships, which I really loved. But then in the second half of Bloodsong, Valen becomes kind of the most powerful boy in the Sixth Order, and he has to be responsible for the orders that the king gives him, and so it kind of, instead of becoming this localized story about character and growth and relationships between these characters, it becomes Valen having the guilt and responsibility of politics, and that's kind of where it fell out for me. There were deaths and destruction and a lot of plot twists in Bloodsong that did interest me, but I just wasn't as invested in the character as I really wanted to be, because it did widen the scope of the story and it wasn't as necessarily focused on Valen as it possibly could have been, or as much as I would have liked it to be. I'm not entirely sure why I didn't feel connected to the story. I mean, maybe it was just my expectations and the way the story and the plot decided to go, but it became just something that I enjoyed rather than something that I was obsessed with. And I think I thought that it would be a new favourite, like Trader's Blade or The Name of the Wind, but it didn't end up reaching those high levels for me, unfortunately. What I loved about Bloodsong was the undertone of magic that kind of carried along throughout the narrative, and I found that really intriguing, and it's one of the things that kept me reading because it was kind of alluded to, but it wasn't actively described, and I feel like that's something that's going to be explored further in the series as we continue to read on. Unfortunately, the third perspective writing style combined with the shift in political focus just didn't really vibe with me, and that's why I gave this book a 4 stars instead of a 5 out of 5. I did listen to the audiobook of Bloodsong, and even though I didn't love it like I thought, I did really enjoy it, and I probably will continue on with the rest of the Raven's Shadow series. I have heard that the rest of the series splits into multiple perspectives rather than just sticking with Valen's perspective, and given that I wanted to explore Valen more as a character and kind of have him fleshed out, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it might give a multifaceted look into the characters anyway, so I'm considering giving it a go. Just a side note, my partner Dave has read the second book, and I think I own the third book still with his bookmark in it, so it might be for some people, but unfortunately it wasn't for him, and personally I'm just going to give the audiobooks a shot and see what I think. But overall, Bloodsong, awesome origin story, loved Valen, didn't quite enjoy the political tangents at the end, didn't get as invested into the characters as I thought, but overall gave it a 4 stars, was considering lowering it to a 3, but I felt that was a bit mean considering I really enjoyed the writing style, so leaving it at a 4, there we go. I would recommend Bloodsong if you're interested in high fantasy. It is an adult fantasy, so it's a little bit more complicated than young adult would be, but overall it's worth the read because I did enjoy it, and I also didn't predict the ending, which was a plus in my book. If you have read Bloodsong, please let me know what you thought in the comments. If it's on your TBR, let me know if it's on your priority or not. Thank you so much for watching my review, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!